simple as the energy raising in the fourth quarter, or what did you sort of attribute to the turnaround from the way it went from the third quarter?
Yeah, I actually liked a lot of those minutes to finish up the third quarter. It's not just about making shots. I even mentioned it to the guys in the locker room. I said, you guys are all probably thinking about those missed shots, open shots, or the ball was like rimming in and going out. I was like, I'm thinking about that was a game of beauty going down the stretch. We made a lot of tough plays. There was thoughtful possessions where we got open looks. You can't control necessarily where the ball's going in, but you can control the toughness, the physicality, the multiple efforts, finishing your defense. I mean, they have two bigs that are relentless and on the offensive glass. I thought we had some really good group rebounding efforts going down the stretch. So I'll sleep well tonight. Those guys will probably think about missed shots, but I like that finish.
Of Detroit's 16 turnovers, 14 of them were live ball. They were all steals, and there were the two after the Jimmy's free throws early in the fourth there. When you say you're emphasizing being disruptive and creating those steals, how are you doing that?
Did I say that?
You did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Is it as simple as telling them to be disruptive? Like, how do you?
No, like you can't just be. I mentioned that play with Dwayne. Going back to that Chicago game, you can't just be irresponsible with it. But there's a certain activity level. There's a mental awareness and being ahead of the play, like being activated every single possession. There's a lot of plays that you can put your fingerprints on in an NBA game, or you can just chill out, on the weak side. That's not how we're going to win games. That's not how we're built to our strengths. We have speed, quickness, guys that can make plays defensively. We have to activate that, but you have to commit to it. I don't think it's an extra amount of physical effort, really. You have to do a lot of tough things regardless in this league. I think it's mental energy that you have to commit to. But we know already in a young season where we are, what it looks like when we're at our best defensively, and saw a lot of that tonight.
Each of the games have been different, but can you put your finger on maybe what the issue has been on the defensive glass as far as the defensive rebounding?
Just have to get better at it. It's been a little bit different each game. The first game was a bunch of bobbles, and missed blockouts. I think there was a better intention, tonight. Again, I'll have to look at it, but I think going down the stretch in the fourth quarter, there were a lot better blockouts. TB and H gave us some really good minutes, off the bench. TB had some really good physical plays underneath. I thought Bam throughout the course of the game was so physical on the glass, but we need everybody activated, to block out, or go pursue, Jaime had a couple good rebounds, Jimmy, and everybody, has to be an active participant in rebounding. That's not just exclusive to us. It's this league. If teams are shooting a lot more threes, longer bounces, things that are different, then everybody's got to be a participant, to rebound.
Spo, even from the first game, you see Tyler and Terry, they still kept that consistency even tonight with their play offensively. What stands out to just that balance that they both have in that starting lineup for you?
We have some great potential. That'll get better after several weeks and months, but they already have a real good comfort level with each other. And they're dynamic, with their skill level and their shooting ability. That could have looked totally different. Some of those rimmed in and out shots or some of the wide open shots go. I mean, this could have been a, 23, 24 made 3-point game. But you just have to stay with it, whatever the right plays are. And I think those guys are making a lot of right plays, a lot of smart plays for our team, and we need them to be dynamic.
So you went to Terry with the second unit in that first game, and last two games, kind of Jimmy's been in that rhythm with the second unit. I'm just wondering, they had a good rhythm in this game. Just what stands out with that group? Like, how does Jimmy kind of bouncing off those guys in that lineup?
Yeah, it's not rocket science. I think if you put Jimmy in any lineup, right, it's gonna look good. But you're finishing first and third quarters. He knows how to manage those possessions. I think that unit. I mean, we have a lot of versatility, so we can go a lot of different ways. But that lineup can be a game-changing lineup too. I read a few of the lineups down. I see a lot of those momentum-shifting lineups. That's one because Jimmy can control it. Sometimes you're in the bonus, like he can control that. He can get people to their spots. You have Duncan that can blow up in a game like that. You have Jaime who's fearless. He's getting in rhythm, but he can make some things happen. And then everybody else kind of fits into their role. So you just got to get the main things figured out. But we'll probably be moving in a few different directions. And right now I like this. It could change. But we have depth, and I plan on using it, and it may be different night to night.
You mentioned some of the misses, but still you see like Tyler and Terry taking 12 three-point attempts each. There's some big ones down the stretch that they made, but like regardless, is that like the number that you think is like appropriate for those?
Pretty good
guys?
number.
Yeah.
That's what's open. If it's open, those guys are great shooters. Don't leave anything on the table. That's basically my message to them. Don't ever finish a game and you left 4, 5, 6 wide open ones still out there. Those guys are killers. Like, there's going to be a game where Tyler goes 10 for 13. Terry has full ability to go, 9 for, 13. Easy. I see it in practice all the time. Actually, that'd be a good goal. Just keep on getting the attempts up. Eventually, each one of these guys are going to have 10 makes in a game. Like that can happen for each one of them.
When you have Jaime closing with that group, the other 4 starters at the end, how does he kind of click into place with that group down the stretch?
Yeah, he's kind of, he'll figure it out. He's a basketball player, right? Like, he can play on the ball. He's got a knack for the ball. Defensively, he had a couple really good plays. A couple steals down, deflections when they're trying to throw it into Harris, and another one where he poked it away. He's a good defensive rebounder. He just has a knack for making the play, at the right time. And then offensively, he's fearless. He's not afraid of anyone or any moment. So yeah, with that unit, he has to play a little bit more off the ball, but he knows how to play off the ball. He can cut, he gets some open spots. His three-point shooting is improving dramatically. And he also can handle. So sometimes I don't want, all the guys to burn themselves out. So he can be a de facto point guard at times. He doesn't have to run the whole show, but he knows what I need from him, and he'll get better with everything. All right, thank you.
Guys, come into the room here. We'll do Tyler and Bam. Terry will speak in the locker room, and Jimmy will speak.